Yeah, so, we just recently put out a Dragon Con review. And
It's a good one.
Yeah.
And, that was a good one. Deep Blue Sea.
Juice.
Motherfucking shark ate me. But anyway, in all seriousness, though, something really went around on the interwebs yesterday. And I don't know if either of you saw this, but it was in relation to the actress that plays Firecracker on The Boys. And her name, Valerie Curry. And she was at a Comic-Con in Northern Ireland. And apparently, 2 cosplayers that were in cosplay as Homelander came up to her table and basically, I guess she thought they were joking around at first, but they kept goading her to recreate a certain scene from the show.
Oh, God.
And it was apparently very evident that she was super uncomfortable, and to the point that she put out a pretty lengthy video about it. But this just goes to say, listen, conventions are amazing. If you listen to our Dragon Con review, we had a great time. Don't do shit that makes celebrities or other attendees not want to come to these events that are otherwise filled with joy. Just as a general PSA, there's no need for this kind of shit. We talk about toxic fandom a lot, and this puts you kind of near the top,
Yeah, I remember reading about that, and that's one of those things where it's what makes, I don't know, man, what makes someone think that that's okay? And the fucked up thing is you're cosplaying as Homelander, and you want to create a scene. There's only a handful of Homelander scenes that you can do that would not be
right.
That would not be infringing on people's constitutional rights. But yeah, that's it sucks that she had to go through that, because you want to see these celebrities show up at these conventions because it's always cool and a fun time. Like John Bernthal showing up to Chicago Comic-Con in 2016, like he should have.
Oh, did he miss that?
He actually did.
Well, I've never heard that before.
He was supposed to be there, but he missed it. But I'm not mad about it or anything. It's just a thing that happened. But yeah, anyways, it does suck that it happened to her, man. Because I think she's great. The first thing I actually remember seeing her in ever was in a video game, Detroit Become Human. I forget the company that makes those games, but I really love those type of interactive, story-driven games, and she was great.
Yeah, I mean, it's twofold, right? Number one, you have to separate these people from their character, right? Lena Headey caught a lot of shit back when she was playing Cersei Lannister.
Still respect.
Oh yeah, absolutely. She played that character so well that I don't even like her in other things where she's a protagonist.
Right? 300?
Yeah, like the sequel to 300, she shows up and the music swells and everything. I was like, well, I don't see her. Get out of here. Let the heroes die. If this is how we got to do it.
Shame.
Not to rabbit hole us really quick. I was talking to Kevin the other day about Baldur's Gate, and I was like, was Kaga modeled after Lena Headey? Because they look tremendously alike.
They do.
A little bit. Yeah.
But the other half of that is if you're dressed as a character, no one expects you. As a matter of fact, in 99% of the cases, it's cringe as fuck for you to also try to act like said character. That goes triply for you if you're gonna cosplay as Homelander.
God damn, that goes infinitely for you.
Infinitely, yeah. 100% agree.
Don't do that shit.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, and if you cosplay as Omni-Man, I'm gonna need you to say at least season 2.
Yeah. Fortunately, we didn't witness any bullshit like that.
Yeah.
But
at least we didn't get any weird deep scenes either. There was a lot of deep cosplays.
That's true.
There was a lot of deep cosplays at Dragon Con, and a couple of them even had octopus over their genital region.
I did not see that, but not surprised.
And even then, none of them did anything creepy. So
that we know of. Yeah.
That's true.
Don't be one of the few that ruins the shit for everybody.
Yeah, for realsies.
So.
Cut it out.
Yeah.
Speaking of ruining things, I got to bring down the mood a little bit more.
Oh shit.
We just got some news this week about a very beloved actor passing.
Very true.
James Earl Jones.
Got to pour one out for him.
Yeah,
Go.
Great. Oh shit.
Oops.
Got to pour one out on the soundboard for James Earl Jones. Yeah, man. One of the all time greats, legendary. I mean, Mufasa, Darth Vader. I mean, just so many incredible roles.
King of Zamunda.
Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. From that original Star Wars cast,
we got two left.
It's just Mark Hamill and Harrison Ford. Basically.
Yeah, we got two.
Yeah, all three of the actors that brought Darth Vader to life originally, because there was a stunt man,
right.
There was David Prowse also as well, and then James Earl Jones. All three of them are gone. Man. Sorry, I don't know the other guy's name. I really should.
Yeah, like that's just kind of heartbreaking, just to see cast from such a beloved series start to fade away.
And I mean, Harrison Ford's like 80?
Yeah.
81, 82, something like that. So
from what I hear, they're still going strong with, the Yellowstone stuff. Or the 1932? Or
19...
or is it 18...
no, so you fucking me up. 1923. It's 1883.
Gotcha.
And 1923.
Gotcha.
Are the two shows.
I still need to watch
1883 is just okay. You can skip that shit. There's the main character does a fake country accent, and it's awful. She does like a Southern Belle accent,
like fucking Jessica Simpson in the Dukes of Hazzard remake.
Yeah, it's very reminiscent of that.
Damn.
Something bounced into my undercarriage.
It's rough, and yeah, she kind of talks kind of like that. I'll be honest. And then 1923 though is the one that has Helen Mirren and Harrison Ford in it, and it's tremendous. And as a matter of fact, you actually can watch that shit without watching any of the other stuff. You don't have to have seen Yellowstone, 1883, any of it. So
okay,
it's tremendous. It's some of the best television I've seen in a while. So
James Earl Jones is in fact not in Yellowstone.
He's not in that.
If he was, it would have been tremendous.
It would have been fire.
But hell, he's playing fucking Red Hulk in the new Captain America.
No,
not
Harrison
James Earl
Ford.
Jones, Harrison Ford.
Yeah.
I was about to say,
that'd be quite a twist.
Oh,
with
yeah.
the twist.
With the twist.
With the twist.
But no.
voice.
To go back to James Earl Jones though, I mean, just absolutely incredible. And anytime that if we ever see Darth Vader on screen again, it's just not going to be the same.
It's not.
No, I mean, it's one of those things, right, where like we know that technology is to a point where if they so wanted to, and I believe they have the right, so I don't even know if they would need to clear this with family or not, but they have the AI technology and tools to take his voice and to kind of do whatever they want to. They wanted to recreate Vader. It's just that we would all know that James wasn't there to really put his passion to it.
I
mean, it's just
want
like
to say that with after the new contracts from the strike last year, that they actually can't do it without. They would have to sign some sort of agreement with his estate, I believe.
Yeah, and you're probably right. I don't know why I would assume that a corporation like Disney would do something so low anyway.
Yeah, I know, man. I mean, they're not freaking Warner Brothers.
Yeah, it's not like they fucking put shit in the Disney Plus sign up sheet that prevents you from having litigation against them. That would be
that would be madness.
Yeah. Come on,
asinine.
The mouse would never do anything like that.
Never.
I would never do that. Huh?
Don't. We can't do that.
Yeah,
it's too early.
Yeah, man. Like if he gets a hold of this shit, dog. Like
I mean,
podcast is a wrap.
I'll be stuck in the voice all night, huh?
God,
you really want me to do this for 2 goddamn hours?
Kinda, actually. Yeah.
no.
Well, I don't want to.
Well, on Slightler. Yeah, Slightler. On Slightler lighter news. There has been more information on the comic book front side of things about a new series of comic books coming out that us nerds have been pretty anxious about, on the fence for, kind of sort of looking forward to. And now if for no other reason, I definitely want to read it. So the new line of comics is called Absolute. So it's DC's line, and they're they're basically starting from scratch. So they're not erasing the existing comic lines or continuity, but this is like a new start for newer readers that will have a different approach to classical DC characters.
It's like a new 52?
No.
Is this like a new 104? Like,
Well, even newer than that, because New 52 it doesn't start from jump.
that's true.
It starts you after like year 5 for them.
Yeah.
But so the Absolute Comics right now, they plan on doing more, but I believe 4 books have been announced with more on the way. Absolute Batman, Absolute Superman, Absolute Wonder Woman, so the Trinity obviously, and an Absolute Green Lantern. We don't have a whole lot about Green Lantern right now. Absolute Superman looks interesting, and I forget exactly what the twist is on that they're doing with this, but I believe I saw the drawing for it, and his cape looked really cool to me. And then I did some research and come to find out his cape is like made from the ashes of fucking Krypton. And
Well,
yeah, it's
Is this the Batman where he's got the bat axe?
yes,
Okay, the
Yeah.
bat tool axe.
yes, the Bat-Tool axe.
You see, because it's a battle.
oh no, I got it.
The first
I got
three
it.
letters
I got
are
it.
bat.
And then I understand.
And he's a guy who dresses.
Okay.
Okay.
He dresses as a bat. Huh?
God damn it.
Shit. Absolute Wonder Woman. She seems to me maybe the most in line, except that she is more familiar with the world of man in this series, I believe, and she's more of like a archaeologist. That too. She's one of those.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But the thing I noticed about her that you can't help but notice is she got a fucking Buster sword. And I'm like, I'm down for that, whatever the fuck she's doing with that thing.
Damn.
She got to bring down the Shinra Corporation. Notorious DC villain.
Yeah. And of course, Batman, he's probably the one. Superman, there's some very noticeable changes with the long hair and definitely a darker tone, Superman. But with this Batman...
So, we were talking like Nick Cage Batman?
No, it's more like Gods and
Not
Monsters.
Batman. Superman, yeah.
God, no.
You sure? You sure?
Well, we'll never know about Nick Cage and Superman.
That's true.
But this Batman, the first thing that threw me off is he's blonde, and I'm like, I don't like that. Don't like that one bit, but I'll get over it.
Okay.
It's the logo for me.
The logo got a lot of people.
The logo looks like he stole someone else's suit, and then he was like, "Fuck," and so he just put some
spikes.
parchment over it.
I have to see this now.
Oh, I gotta pull it up.
The logo
please,
is just,
please.
it's,
Yeah.
it's
Please
just
do.
it's just a big old, like, on the suit. It just looks like it's just a big ass patch.
So this is what Batman looks like in this series. He's a fucking tank.
Yeah.
Over here. And look at the logo.
But what
The
the,
logo
fuck
is
is
just
up
a-
with that? Like, it's literally a square with some
I'll
spikes.
tell you, it looks like he stole
That's square.
someone else's.
The rectangle, yeah.
He stole somebody else's suit. They have a logo on the chest, so he just put a thing over it.
It's one of those things
Yeah,
where
it's
it's
pretty
like,
bad.
if you didn't know who Batman was,
You'd not know what the fuck that
absolutely
is.
not. Like, what is that on his chest? Then we'll come to find out it's a fucking...
What?
It's a
Why
battle
change?
Maybe that'll be a thing. It's like he's beating the shit out of the criminals, and they're like, "What's that on your chest?" And he's like, "It's a bat." And he just
There are there are a few more interesting changes with this Batman. First of all, if you notice his cape, it's not really a cape per se, but he has it like wrapped around his arms, and he uses those as also weapons.
Does he actually flap?
No, he uses them as like some kind of weapons of sort, I believe. It's not out yet, but we'll see. We have seen him attach a handle to the bat emblem and cut a motherfucker's hand off. So this Batman is a little bit more unhinged. We also know that he is obviously this is going to be news to you guys. He's going to be bigger than traditional Batman.
it's kind of giving me
Frank
Definitely
Miller?
Google these pictures, guys. Like,
Yes,
oh
yes.
god, that's insane.
well, definitely Frank Miller, but it's kind of giving me Batfleck vibes.
A little bit,
You
yeah.
know, I mean the look. It's like Batfleck is like halfway between that and like the Val Kilmer Batman. Like it's like, you know, the Batfleck logo was the thicker kind of Dark Knight Returns, Frank Miller type thing, and then it's like they just took that and they were like, yeah, fuck it, and just stretched it all the way across. It's like they put this giant Hulk Batman into that same
they grabbed the
suit.
side and just stretched him.
Yeah. Like whoever did it doesn't know how to Photoshop, so like, the shit just got all fucked up.
And I guess another noticeable change is this Bruce Wayne is not rich.
Oh.
Yeah.
Well, that's why he's so angry. He broke.
And he couldn't afford a graphic designer.
Couldn't afford a graphic designer.
He probably did steal somebody's suit.
It's possible. Yeah. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if issue 1, like, we see traditional Batman flying around, he gets fucking killed, and then you see this motherfucker fit his big ass into the suit.
And that's why it's stretched out. Oh man!
But no, I'm definitely interested to see how this new Absolute series unfolds. It looks, at the very least, it looks interesting, and I have to at least check it out. So yeah, I think it is gonna come out. I want to say later on this year. So it's gonna be right around the corner, and yeah, we'll see what happens with that.
Before we move on, since we are talking about DC, we did get some news. James Gunn did announce that I think spring is when we're going to get Peacemaker Season 2.
Oh.
Ooh.
So.
Very nice. Okay. So is that going to be the second?
Yeah.
Okay. So
because Superman
Legacy
doesn't come out till July, right?
Yeah, that's summer. So, yeah, so we got Creature Commandos, December, and then Peacemaker. I wonder if we're going to get anything in Peacemaker that's going to tie directly into the greater DCU.
Yeah, agreed.
I've
have
seen
to acknowledge something,
right. I've seen this question floating around on the interwebs.
Not the interwebs.
Yeah, all over the interwebs, and because we're the best at doing this, I figured I'd bring it here as well.
Okay.
This question is kind of a nothing burger to me, but people on the internet have opinions, and I'm like, okay, well, fuck it, why not?
What you got, big dog?
Yeah, so with the literal lack of information that we have concerning
The Scroll.
I was gonna say concerning Avengers Doomsday.
Oh, okay, yeah.
What do you?
I was close.
Where do you think it will rank amongst the other Avenger movies? Do you think it would be better than any of them?
Age of Ultron, definitely.
You think so? There's a lot of highs in Age of Ultron.
So let me say this. It's very much going to be a part 1 of 2, you know? Mm. And we ranked Infinity War number 1 for the entire MCU. And Sigourney Weaver's not in it.
She ain't even in it.
If
she was in it, it would have been a no-brainer.
11 out of 10. Yeah. But, yeah, I mean, if this can get anywhere near that same vibe, I think a lot of people are worried about, and I mean, I'm a lot of people. I'm also worried about this. People are worried about, like, what's the story leading in, right? Because pretty much all of the storytelling, the long-form storytelling that we've got in Phase 5, or, well, is Loki Season 2 considered Phase 4 or 5?
4, right?
Yeah, so that we've gotten in Saga 2.
Yeah, there we go.
Saga 2.
The multiverse saga.
The multiverse saga has been in Loki Season 2. And we know that that's just not going anywhere.
Right.
Other than, like, the Loki stuff. But, like, all the Kang stuff that they did, I mean, that's gone.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it really is going to come down to how well can Fantastic Four, Thunderbolts, and Cap 4, how well can they lay the groundwork for some payoffs? I mean, we know that it's probably going to be in Secret Wars. We got to get the Thor crying scene.
We do.
You know, we have to get the Deadpool laying in his arms.
I don't know if they intended for people to latch onto this the way they did.
Well,
yes,
fucked.
they did.
They're fucked.
Yes, they did.
He brought it up like 9 times in the movie.
Oh, yeah. Like,
it's
like come on, man.
And, okay, am I the one who's like, yeah, that's funny, repurposed footage from Thor 2?
No.
You are the only one, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
100%. I knew this shit was going to... They are going to put Deadpool in an MCU movie.
Oh, absolutely. They're going to put him in Secret Wars. I mean, the comic was laying behind him on the ground or whatever in the trailer. Like,
That's coincidence.
okay. The Fox logo, too? Yeah. That just happens to be there?
Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
That was my intention.
I would love it if it were on the level with like an Infinity War.
Yeah.
But the thing about an Avengers movie is while Avengers movies can be full of cool shit, it works the best when Avengers is acting as its own movie and as a sequel to all of the other movies that those characters are in, right? Obviously, like, Age of Ultron doesn't play if Winter Soldier isn't as good. Mm-hmm. It doesn't play as well if we don't have the background from Avengers 1. Iron Man 1 and 2, they kind of ignored 3. They kind of act like that shit didn't exist.
Yes, they did.
I mean, they kind of needed to.
And then in Infinity War, obviously Infinity War and Endgame is a culmination of all those first 3 waves. So, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to, man. It's like, what kind of building blocks do we have for Doomsday to work off of? They got 3 movies to lead into it.
Which is short.
It's very short.
It's a short takeoff.
It's a short takeoff. And, Secret Wars may benefit from getting at least 1 or 2 more movies in between the two of them. Because I think from the way we're hearing it now, the new Spider-Man might be in between them.
That'd be smart.
Yeah. They need to put Shang-Chi in there.
Yeah, he definitely needs to be in there, right? The next time we see him,
can't be Secret Wars.
Yeah.
He needs to be the street level hero that, because there's always an MCU person in the MCU Spider-Man movies. He needs to be it in this movie because he doesn't know Peter anyway.
Right.
So it just makes sense, and he's the one that hasn't had any screen time in forever.
Since his movie?
Yeah.
And he'll be doubly fucked if Daredevil Born Again is the shit.
Yeah. Yeah.
They're like, we need a street level martial artist.
Yeah.
So, no, I agree though, Caleb. Like, it really is going to depend. Like, the success of Doomsday, it really will depend on how interesting the lead up is and how invested people can get within this short window of time.
I mean, I will say that I do think that the fans are hungry for this. So, hopefully the studio will actually adhere to that and give us what brought us to the game to begin with.
Yeah.
I mean, the word is that the Russos are getting paid $80 million. And that's flat. That's not, you get 10 mil and a piece of the box office. No. It's like they're guaranteed that money to do these 2 movies. For some directors, that's crazy.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, Christopher Nolan made a fuck ton off Oppenheimer. But that's mostly because nobody thought that people were going to go watch a movie about a fucking astrophysicist.
I still need to see all of that. I've watched bits and pieces.
Were you not with us when we go see it? Okay.
No.
Brendan was.
He was.
Yeah, I guarantee you, if you had been here for the first agent paper that was subtitled, that's about how Brendan was during Oppenheimer.
Oh.
I was like, I wonder what he's getting from this, But, yeah, I mean, that's what it's going to come down to. Even Age of Ultron, even the worst Avengers movie, it built off of what came before it and set a bunch of shit up. Mm-hmm. It just, unfortunately, forgot to be a great movie in the midst of all of that.
Yeah.
But, here's hoping. I hope it's not the worst Avengers movie.
Yeah.
I think that it'll be along the lines of Avengers 1. And I say that mostly because of the short lead up.
That's fair.
And because we'll be dealing with mostly people who weren't Avengers before.
Yeah.
We have a few, like Doctor Strange is returning. I imagine Thor has to return. A couple, Sam. But, this time he's not returning as Falcon. He'll be returning as Captain America.
Right.
So there'll be a few holdovers. But, man, I imagine for the most part it'll be people who this is their first time as an Avenger.
I don't want to rabbit hole us further, but do you think we get that shot, the iconic 6 shot? Do you think it'll be like Doctor Strange, Yelena, Hulk, Falcon, or Cap?
Falcap.
Falcap.
If you know,
Hawkeye can still be in it.
So there's a couple reasons why that worked in Avengers 1. One, because it was the first time they did it.
Yeah.
2 is because like the comic geeks know, like this is most of the lineup from like the original group,
Mm-hmm.
And so that worked on multiple levels. You can't do that with a random hodgepodge and expect the same, type of reaction.
Well, this time though, they're referencing that shot. They're not referencing the books at this point.
Yeah,
they're it's like South Park. They're now referencing themselves.
That is true.
Simpsons did it.
However, they'd still be referencing like a random hodgepodge of heroes. We got Shang-Chi, America Chavez.
Well, no, I was thinking like they would do that exact 6, but they would trade Yelena out for Black Widow.
Yeah.
And then since there's not an Iron Man equivalent, Doctor Strange would have to be in there.
Well, Ruby Williams.
No, that said there's not an equivalent.
Okay.
Or, I mean, they could put Rhodey in.
They could. The non-scroll version.
Yes, the not scroll version.
Yeah.
Right.
That shit was so crazy, man. I still can't get over that. That's the most interesting thing that they've done in like the multiverse saga is the fact that motherfucker has been a scroll since Civil War. That's crazy.
Yeah. Yeah, imagine like waking up from like an 8-year coma and realizing your legs don't work.
Yeah, my legs don't work. My best friend's dead.
Best friend dead, yeah. A whole bunch of shit's happened.
Yeah. Half the people in the universe got killed, came back.
Alien took my identity.
Yeah. It's a lot, man. It's a lot.
Yeah. That'd be a lot to deal with. So.
Well, we are here for another reason today.
Yeah.
This is a very long cold open, folks.
We are, and we promise. Like I actually enjoy the topic that we have tonight.
Right? Yeah.
We won't blue balls you anymore.
Yeah, we know you guys are here for a purpose, and that purpose is to talk about an oldie but goodie. I bet before we get too far into things, proper introductions are in order. So, homies one and all, I would like to welcome you back to a very special episode of the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and tonight I am joined here by my good friend, my brother, the birthday boy.
Not on air. Hi.
Congratulations, you've won a lifetime supply of Dick and Nips.
Hey.
First reference.
Please see the secretary at the front counter to collect your prize.
Salute your prize, yes. Give her this voucher.
Yeah.
But greetings, adventurers.
And of course, as always, I'm joined here by the ever so intelligent, the ever so gentle, the ever so kind, beloved, the homie Caleb.
Oh shit! I thought there was somebody else here that I just forgot about. What's going on, everybody? I'm about 3 months into being the co-host now, and I have had to sit through some shit. And then, like, the road ahead isn't looking too great either. The thing I'm most excited about, I think, for the rest of this year is that we're going to review The Acolyte at some point.
Yeah, we got which I still need to sit down and watch.
I need to finish it, but I don't even know if I want to.
It's not that bad. I actually thoroughly enjoyed it, but like the next to the last episode is just really bad. Like it's just kind of trash, you know. But other than that, I thoroughly enjoyed it. But that one episode is just really, really, really bad.
Well,
we'll talk about it more in depth.
That we will, as well as Suicide Squad Isekai.
Yep.
Batman the Caped Crusader. A couple of movies in October. Joker 2 and Venom 3.
Oh my god.
Y'all have fun with that.
Hey, you stick around too much like this, man. You might become official number 3 over here.
Yeah, no. Like I'm already calling in. Y'all have like passes, right? Like I'm gonna take one from each of you.
No.
You can be the Dusty Rhodes to our Bobby Heenan and Tony Schiavone.
Hey.
You know.
Now, come on, baby.
Come on, baby. Let's see there. This movie was garbage.
Man, all right, I don't want to rabbit hole this again, but I saw a clip of Dusty Rhodes playing basketball the other day.
What?
And that shit was insane. He was killing it, and he was still pretty close to his size.
Wow.
It was just crazy, man.
That is crazy.
I think he could do everything.
He was the American Dream.
He was the American
That's true,
Dream.
yeah.
The American Dream, baby.
Yeah.
Dusty Rhodes.
I will not be throwing in my Dusty Rhodes impersonation because I don't think it's good enough. And I don't.
It's everyone has one.
Everyone has one.
I don't want to defile a legacy. You know what I mean?
But that's part of it.
That is part of it. Like,
The impersonation is part of it. Okay. But we are here tonight to talk about the classic, the 1994 version of The Crow.
And since you're here, we recently reviewed the 2024 version, and you can go and check that out, the movie and the review.
review, yes. Movie, no.
It'll probably be on streaming before you can hear this episode.
Yeah. That's facts, though.
Yeah.
The 2024 version of the movie left some things to be desired. Not everyone was a fan of it. This is me being very polite. And it was not very well received by fans, critics, or us.
I think we're somewhere in the middle.
Yeah.
I think that was the movie I gave the lowest score.
It's always so fun for me to see what people's lowest scores end up being, and that does make sense. And it's usually something that people are really attached to.
Yeah.
Like for Dylan, it was Justice League X Ruby Heroes and Huntsman's Part 2.
I forgot how ridiculous that title was.
Absolutely.
It's interesting because for me it's Dune, but it's the original and not the new one.
But it still kind of tracks, right? Because
Yeah.
like you fucking love the new series, you
Yeah.
know, and so the old one is even more atrocious by comparison, you know.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Umbrella Academy tried.
I will say it's kind of like that. Oh god, I just had it in my brain now. I lost it. Yeah, I've lost it. It's gone. It completely disappeared. I'm sorry, guys.
Never knew story.
So you'll learn with enough time how to filibuster until it comes back to you.
Nope.
You just have to repeat it to yourself over and over again.
I'll remember maybe halfway through the podcast.
That too. That happens a lot.
Yeah, we're just gonna be like halfway through the podcast. Like we've been talking about some of this shit. This motherfucker's gonna be like, Chris O'Donnell.
I got it. It was I've definitely gone on record saying this before. It's like we need to stop making remakes of movies that were good and start making remakes of movies that were bad, making them better. And Dune is definitely one of those.
Aragon next, please.
Yeah,
I would love Denis Villeneuve's take on Aragon.
Villeneuve. Love how we all went the. You
Oh
know,
yeah. That is tradition. Yeah.
Villeneuve. You have to
Villeneuve.
pronounce it correctly. Yeah. See, like,
Is he French or Italian?
Try it without the.
It don't work the same.
Go ahead.
Yeah.
Try it.
Villeneuve. No, I can't do it.
Yeah. Villeneuve.
Villeneuve. Yeah, you're right.
It's like-
You have to have
Like, the more you shake your hand, the lazier the last name gets. It's like
Villeneuve.
Oh my god.
We're eventually gonna talk about the Crow guys. Eventually.
Oh my god. Check out in 2031 Denis Villeneuve's rendition of The Crow.
oh shit.
Oh fuck.
Denis Villeneuve. He did not direct The Crow.
This just became a Pearl Jam song.
The Crow was directed by Alex Proyas. And we talked about him a little earlier before
Yeah.
we got on the mics here. And, oh, wow, he also directed iRobot.
Yeah, I was actually looking
Really?
to see what else he
Yeah.
had.
And knowing, was that the M Night? No.
No, that was
It
that.
can't be if he.
That was
Yeah,
where
yeah.
I fully cemented in how I don't like movies that have really interesting premises have the end result be aliens.
Okay.
That's that Nicolas Cage movie.
Yeah. I mean,
That was the one that got me. Like that was where I hated that trope. Like if you're gonna do a movie about aliens, make it completely about aliens. Don't make it a mystery and make it aliens afterwards. It was dumb.
Oh God, he directed Gods of Egypt.
Yeah,
We talked about that. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
with all the white people.
Yeah, with all the white people. Gods of Egypt.
Ew.
Yeah. So he's got an interesting filmography here.
Mm-hmm.
Dark City. Obviously, The Crow, Gods of Egypt.
Dark City was that vampire movie, wasn't it?
I want to say it was, right?
Or was that Daybreak?
No, that's Daybreak. Dark City, this was a... what was this? Because, like, I've seen this. Oh, it came out in 90. I thought it came out in 88.
Is that like Team Moose Sin City? Welcome to Dark City.
Who was in Dark City? Oh, Jennifer Connelly. Rufus Sewell. Kiefer Sutherland.
Oh wow.
Yeah,
Okay.
William Hurt. It had a cast on it. Anyways, Mr. Alex Proyas, he is the one who's helmed to direct The Crow. Now, a little bit about the basis for this movie. Obviously, I know that a lot of you guys are familiar with The Crow, but also a large portion of this fan base is also younger, which, shout out to you guys.
It's weird, right?
What, really?
There's, but,
Oh, okay.
yeah.
I have not seen the movie until 2 hours ago.
That's true.
Yeah, so, some people may not be that familiar with The Crow. But with that being said, this is based on a comic book.
Which I still need to finish.
Yeah, that you should. You've had it for a while now.
I have, and I've been slacking, and I'm so sorry.
Is it like an ongoing series, or is this like a?
I think it's just one.
Yeah, I believe it's just one run because I believe everything was written by the creator, is it James O'Barr? I believe is his name. His motivation for the story is quite interesting. When he was a young man, I want to say maybe late teens or early 20s, he was madly in love with his girlfriend, and one night he was out, and actually, if you guys pick up the deluxe edition of The Crow, he actually tells this story at the very beginning of the
I had
book.
that on DVD.
Oh yeah.
I did, yeah.
Oh, nice. But he says that he was waiting to get a ride from his girlfriend because something happened with his car, something that was within his control, whether it was like an expired license plate or something like that. And he knew that there were cops hanging around the corner that he needed to go to. So if he drove past them, they would flag him and it'd be a whole deal. So he decided to call his girlfriend to come pick him up. She agreed, no problem. On her way to come pick him up, she was hit by another car and she died. And that broke him. It broke him. And that was his inspiration for The Crow. He said it kind of helped him to deal with that kind of grief. And
Plus, how did you get home?
God damn. Fucking hell, Caleb.
You're the one over here saying he's kind and stuff. You remember that earlier?
I was trying to speak it into existence. All right.
Oh, okay. I see.
Clearly, I need to speak louder.
I'm in a rare form today. I don't really know what it is.
He really is the whole way over here.
Yeah. We won't get into anything that he may or may not have said concerning Brandon Lee.
Sorry.
Yeah.
I don't even know the guy.
I bet you don't. Rest in peace to Brandon Lee.
Dick Nips.
Yep, Dick Nips. But so for those of you who are not familiar with the story of The Crow, the basis is this. It is that in certain cases when a person is violently killed and there is cause for extreme grief everlasting even, that grief can manifest itself, and that a spirit in the form of a crow will raise you once again so that you can complete your business that was not finished, and that typically involves gratuitous violence. And
So the plot for Casper without the violence.
I suppose so. I don't. What is the plot for Casper?
There isn't really one.
Okay.
But there's the whole unfinished business thing.
Yeah.
That's why the spirit can't move on.
Actually, crazy enough, like the plot of Casper and the plot of this are not that different.
Yeah.
It's just like Casper's like a G-rated version of this, you know?
Well, I mean, you know, Lion King, Black Panther, everything has kind of this, you know, it's G-rated version.
It's like my toy truck rolled into the street and got run over, and then I died, and then I really missed my toy truck, so I came back.
I mean, I guess we can just buy you another toy truck
as a friendly ghost. And before I can rest, I have to go down to Mattel and get them to make me a new truck.
Yeah, because come to find out, it's been a year, right?
Yeah.
And so they don't make that model truck anymore.
Right, yeah.
So it's a whole thing.
It's a whole thing.
Will Ferrell plays the CEO. It's a whole
I'm
Mattel
out.
cinematic universe.
Yeah, no.
Okay, see, you're manifesting the wrong shit.
You really are. You really are.
Yeah. Okay, but yeah, so that is the basic premise for The Crow. Now, there have been different Crows. Obviously, the most popular one is Eric Draven.
He's like the Hal Jordan of the Crow universe.
I partly agree.
Partly
Partly agree because Eric Draven is definitely the most popular one, but he's not the only good one.
Yeah, I mean, there's
that's
other,
true. That okay. I will concede.
I don't really like that comparison.
Listen here, Kyle Rayner.
There's nothing wrong with Kyle Rayner. FYI, there's not.
I'm not.
Kyle Rayner is
No.
He's the Dick Grayson of the Green Lanterns. If you ask me.
We're not going to go down that
Kyle
rabbit
Rayner's
hole.
the best Green Lantern.
He's a Guy Gardner guy.
A Guy Gardner guy.
Guy
Yeah.
Gardner
A
guy.
GG, as we know on the street.
GGG.
I'm actually a Jon Stewart guy.
Really?
Yeah.
No.
Hell yeah.
So not to segue us already,
Oh
right?
my God. I did that. My bad.
But you gotta think about this, like, right? For most people our age, Jon Stewart is a lot of people's favorite Green Lantern because he was the Green Lantern in the TV show.
Yeah, from the animated series.
Yeah. Wally West is a lot of people's favorite Flash because for 25 fucking years, Barry was dead. Wally was our Flash.
Right.
And, you know, it's a good thing that Bruce Wayne never took a long stint because there'd probably be someone else who would be our favorite Batman if he went there. You know,
Dick Grayson.
Dick Grayson. He was, and that's the thing. Like that speaks to Dick Grayson's popularity. He was so popular that Batman, the flagship DC character, was fucking dead, and Dick Grayson took his spot, and everyone was like, "That makes sense."
Yeah, nobody was mad.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. By the way, I don't know if anyone saw the issues, but there was a brief stint recently where Bruce Wayne repaid the favor, and he was Nightwing.
Oh no, I need that.
Oh, you can Google the pictures. It is
I need that in my life, actually.
like if it wasn't like Bruce played it seriously, but it was clear that like this shit was supposed to be fucking funny as fuck. You know, like seeing him in the Nightwing outfit, it was just my brain couldn't.
There was a point in time where I just like was obsessively consuming Nightwing comics.
Yeah.
And to me, I loved that there was like a whole run where Dick Grayson was just like a police detective, and like all he did was like solve crimes and like hook up with chicks, and that was it. That was the whole comic. Like there was there was no anything. Like no supervillains showed up.
Right.
That was it. That was.
Oh yeah.
You know, somebody was reading that like, okay. All right.
Where's the superhero show?
Okay, well, the next issue, you know,
for sure.
something's gonna pop off, like the Joker will show up,
Right.
or you know, Scarecrow or something.
Somebody, yeah.
Okay, open and shut case. Okay, where's this lady? Who is it? Oh, God damn it! Like,
He's fucking again.
yeah.
Someone stopped writing this before CW season and tries to make a TV show.
Oh, Starfire's here. She must be here to warn him about. Oh.
Yeah. So FYI, if you know any redheaded women Keep them away from Dick Grayson. He's got a type.
Oh yeah, yeah. Y'all just think Matt Murdock will steal your girl.
Oh yeah. So we're talking about The Crow.
Yeah. Speaking of people who run around at night on rooftops, I'm bringing us back in.
Good, nice segue.
Yeah, so The Crow follows Eric Draven, who is a musician of some sort. It's never really described how much fame he has, really.
He played the guitar.
Like I want to say, like he was really only like a local artist. I don't think he fully made it yet. Otherwise,
they had their own album.
Yeah, I mean, like a lot of musicians do. So, like that wasn't unheard of. They also show a picture of the band on I believe the pit, which is the bar. So there is the picture of the band.
I think it's safe to say that we have more listeners than their band.
That's actually probably accurate.
He really kind of struck me as like the he learned how to play guitar so he could impress chicks. Yeah,
he kind of did.
Anyway, here's Wonderwall.
Yeah.
And, damn.
Oh shit. Yeah. And one of the cool things about The Crow, right, is that with both Eric and Shelley, we don't know a whole lot about them. And so we can kind of fill in the blanks to a degree. And in certain cases, that hurts or hinders a movie, but in this case, I think it kind of helps. And maybe I'm just juxtaposing that with the 2024 reboot.
Well, I mean, like I will definitely agree with you, and like I despised that new one. But at the same time, like I felt like you understood it more. Mm-hmm. Like I felt like I understood their relationship more from the flashbacks that we get in this one as compared to the first hour and a half of the other one.
By the way, this movie is only an hour and 41 minutes.
Yep.
Having seen the new one first, which I think is an interesting perspective that probably not a lot of people have. Because I'll be honest, like, if I wasn't friends with you guys and I just was like, oh, hey, there's a movie called The Crow, and I went and watched the new one, I definitely wouldn't be like, oh, I should check out the old one.
Fair.
I think here 30 years later, I think that Hollywood has this insistence to kind of hold the audience's hand a little more, especially, compared to just overall in the 90s. So it's like, I think that this movie, if it got made today, which it did, I think it would have been a lot of studio interference. I think that they would have been like, oh, we need to get, say, a Skarsgård, Bill Skarsgård.
How specific of you?
Very specific.
That's very specific.
To come in and play the main character. I feel like there's just, they don't trust the audience, to put things together at all. So it's very handheld. It's very much we have to give you 20 minutes of a completely different movie before we get into the actual movie. And it's an interesting choice, and I didn't feel like it worked then, and I definitely don't feel like it worked now. So, yeah,
I mean, I gotta agree with that, right? Because you look at the new one, and they attempted to give us more of Eric and Shelley, however,
which I'm not opposed to.
Yeah,
but their execution was shitty.
Pretty bad.
Yeah, it was pretty bad.
Pretty bad. Yeah. But I guess to continue on, the whole point though is that Eric and Shelley, they don't have anything but each other, and that's kind of something that you can piece together if you watch the OG Crow. And it's that love they have for one another. This is what gets them through. And Eric is happening to go over to Shelley's place one day. I guess, were they living together?
Oh, they were engaged. It's very strongly possible.
Yeah. But the way it's presented in the movie is like, oh, you happen to...
Well, he may have been coming home from something.
Yeah. I think, was he getting groceries or was that just in the comic book? I get everything conflated sometimes, so... But anyway, he was going home to Shelley's and...
notices the door is open.
Yep.
goes in, gets fucking.
And he came out the closet. Guess it was out the closet. It was in the closet.
And I pull out my gun.
Jesus.
They did pull out a gun.
But after he got stabbed in the chest by a well-thrown knife by Tintin.
So when we reviewed the 2024 version, Oz and I, we spoke about how the death of Eric and Shelley was fucking tame.
It was so tame. And like the 90s version, they give you they don't go into excruciating like visual detail, but like you said, like they didn't insult our intelligence. They let us piece this together. And yeah, it was kind of graphic.
So this won't be popular.
Here it comes.
I'm going to say a lot of things that aren't going to be popular tonight, I think.
That's fair.
But I got to say that I enjoyed might not be the right word. But I thought that the death scene was more effective in the 2024.
Really?
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because in this version, so obviously after he wakes up, right, like the actual pain of Eric Draven, right, is way better done in the 94 version, like his reaction to it. But the actual, if we're going by like what we see of the death scene, it's very much, they're very much suggesting what's going on with her. He comes in, and you kind of just get these kind of little glimpses of what happens to him. The way that this is presented in the movie is very good, but I just thought that the trauma of him having to watch her suffocate, and of them really having to watch each other suffocate in the new movie, I thought that was one of the few things that they did well. So yeah, I mean, I think I prefer it over the 94.
I just find it hard to believe that a magical, majestic, spiritual crow would resurrect everyone who's you suffocated. It's not a good death.
No, and like I will say, it would be horrific, but I feel like the way they like brutalized him, and clearly Shelley,
it's
in
still tame for no reason. And
yeah,
in the new one though, I think it is more so implied that him being stuck, in the purgatory or whatever, has more to do with old buddy's deal with the devil than it has to do with like the circumstances, right? So you have that added part in the 2024 where you have the dude's demonic pact or whatever. I think that plays more into it, whereas in this one it's just the kind of revenge circumstances of everything. And I'm not going to say that one is any better than the other, honestly. I mean, you could make a very good plot out of either one of those things. The 2024 movie just didn't choose to.
Which is fair.
Yeah, and it was just one of those things, right, where it's like, if I had never seen the 94 Crow, there's no reason for me to be hung up on their deaths in the new one.
That's a fair point.
Whereas in this one, they go back to the death via flashback a few times, and we get glimpses of it, and we see Draven's visceral reaction to it. And a lot of it is in his reaction that really plays into the pain of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Like you said, Caleb.
The way it plays out in this movie, I thought was super well done, especially for like 94, where he's going to each part of the room where each thing happened, and like he's remembering it happened, and we get this very visceral reaction to all of it, taking place. There was a very effective way to do it, especially with the limited technology that they had at the time.
Let's kind of segue. I want to ask a question here. Why is it that you think this movie resonated with so many people in the 90s?
You asking both of us?
Yeah.
Or him? Okay.
I was going to let you go
Both
first.
y'all.
It's your birthday.
It's my birthday.
A little bit ASMR first.
That was nice.
That's pleasant.
I generally don't prefer it other than the one Super Saiyan transformation.
Oh God. Anyway, I can't really speak for why it resonated with others as much as it did, but also I could just go with how I felt as a kid watching this movie. It was like there was that aesthetic that definitely hit really hardcore during that time period, and I think a large part of it did have to do with this movie, the goth kid, or just the punk style too. So, like, I was already kind of leaning towards that anyway, and then this movie came out and showed me how cool it actually was. So that was, for me, but also teen angst back in those days, I kind of feel was like, you felt it more, and this was definitely an angsty movie.
Yeah.
So I think it was the mixture of those things that really drew out the people who are now, the people who go out to goth clubs and vampire parties. So,
and they seen Blade. Why would you ever go to a vampire party?
well, if they're vampires, then that's fine.
And they seen Blade.
Yeah. Yeah, like it's like
I'm showing up as Blade.
like-
Just does it.
if you're a human and you've seen Blade, you don't want to go to the vampire party. If you're a vampire and you've seen Blade, you definitely don't want to go to the vampire party.
To along the same line, like Underworld, like that gothic style of art, and yeah. So I mean, I think that's definitely what brought out the freaks and geeks.
For me, it would be because Brandon Lee died filming it.
Oh, I knew he was going to bring that up.
I mean, it was going to come up.
Yeah.
But I didn't hate this at all, and it was like slightly better than Mad to me. But I definitely think that without that happening, it would not be the cult classic that it is. I still think it would be popular. And the reason that I say that is, if you look at it, right, mainstream superheroes from the 70s to the 1990, right? We had that god awful fucking Captain America. Just the campiest, most ridiculous nonsense. We had Superman, Hope, Justice, the American Way, all that. All of it was very much that kind of thing, right? It's either rah rah America, truth, justice, whatever. Fucking Hulk Hogan, say your prayers and eat your vitamins, and it's all that just overwhelming optimism. The good guys win the day, whatever. You look at this era, you look at 89 Batman, you look at Batman Returns, you look at the super popular X-Men cartoon from the 90s. Look at The Crow. All of that took on a darker aesthetic and a darker tone. You had, X-Men obviously was dealing with xenophobia, racism, that kind of thing. All of as you put it, all of the Claremont, the secret sauce is not so secret. It's just Chris Claremont's a fucking genius. All the Claremont hits. You had the Tim Burton Batman, and then you had this. So obviously there was a societal shift into this direction of these sort of darker type anti-heroes, the sort of rebellious thing. All of us are wrestling fans. Mm-hmm. The same thing happened with wrestling that era. This is when we got the famous Attitude Era. We had wrestling went from the Hulk Hogans and the Doink the Clowns and all of that to DX and Val Venus and the Crow Sting and that's all very true. These sort of darker characters. You had the NWO that came out in all black. Right. And they were the bad guys, and then the good guy came out and he was in all black and had a bat. So and that kind of the people who were still doing those sort of campy good guy kind of gimmicks just kind of faded away. So
we definitely met a bunch of people during our indie wrestling career that definitely kind of mirrored that.
Super inspired by this. You brought up Underworld. Underworld went in this same vein, The Matrix. You know, all of those kind of bright color palettes that we saw from those early Richard Donner Superman movies, all that shit is gone. You know, we started to get these movies where you get the browns and the blacks and the grays are the primary colors. Frank Miller had to have been overjoyed about this.
Oh, he was busy writing Sin City at this point, so you know he was just...
And he was like, okay, look, we'll take these same colors, right, but we'll add red. That's it. But yeah, I mean, I think that the tone, it just kind of, I think it kind of struck gold with the tone that society was kind of going in with their superhero stuff. They were looking for something darker and more serious.
Like it also, like, it was one of those movies that kind of, I think some studios were like, this is gonna make money. Just go do the thing and let's just throw it out there. Like, flew under the radar. Then it's like, oh shit, they actually liked it. Like, you know, Pitch Black. I remember when it first came out. Like, I was like, I never heard of it until my mom was like, "This is a stupid alien movie," and I'm like, I want to fucking watch it. And then I watched it and I fucking loved it. But like, it wasn't like something I heard about like on trailers or anything like that. I was just like, oh, okay. Like I was telling you, like the first time I watched The Crow was on TNT.
Yeah.
And I was like, this is fucking cool.
Yeah, I mean, there's modern representations of that, right? Like, I think the most recent big example of something like that would be Godzilla -1. That the budget for that movie was like somebody's lunch money. Yeah, you guys all save up your lunch money, and it was what 10 million, 15 million.
Oh wow, that's low.
No, it was very low. I got to look it up. Yeah, it was tremendously low.
Looked really good for that kind of budget.
Have you seen it, Ace?
I actually haven't seen it yet. I want to.
Yeah, so
I don't like kaiju, so
the budget.
No one asked you, Oz.
The budget for Godzilla -1 was $15 million.
Wow.
Yeah,
For a kaiju movie.
And just in theaters, it made over $115 million.
God damn.
And that's crazy for a movie that has not one word of English in it. Like there's no dub. It's only a subtitled version. That's it. And it cost them $15 million to make, and it's all like practical effects and stuff. You know, it's kind of similar where you can see where, like, originally they weren't even going to release it overseas. It was just going to be just in Japan, and then it got a worldwide release because of how popular it was. But you know, nobody's sitting around in Hollywood thinking, so people are going to go watch that. And it's probably the same with this. You know, they're like. Okay, so this dude comes back from the dead, and he's got a magical crow.
This also came out around the same time Spawn did, didn't it?
Spawn was infamous 97.
Okay, yeah. So, like, I mean,
the soundtrack always reminds me of Spawn, or vice versa.
Yeah. So, like, I guess it would also be, you know, kind of like that. It could have been like a stepping stone for Spawn to actually be as successful as it was. Yeah, because I remember loving Spawn as a kid. I mean, it's still a decent movie.
Yeah,
I think out of all the '90s superhero movies, that one might hold up the best.
Yeah,
it might. Oz and I reviewed that.
Yeah,
was
we did
it last year.
It was
other than Blade.
Other than Blade, Blade was what 98, so it barely makes it.
But I mean, as we sit here and list these are all really fucking dark.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And I think that, like you said, it was that time where we wanted to change. Like, as consumers, we just wanted to change in the, you know, say your prayers, eat your vegetables, you know, take your vitamins. We wanted dark, gritty, grungy. That's what we wanted.
And, you know,
I guess we needed.
It's so interesting that, you know, both you guys mentioned that, because that also rings true for comic books. Comic books started to take a dive in like the late 80s going into the 90s. I mean, hell, they killed Superman, for fuck's sake. You know, they had to figure out something. And that ended up being a great idea, because still the highest selling comic book of all time, I believe.
Death of Superman?
Yeah. Everybody bought that shit.
Was it you that was telling me that they printed so fucking many of those that, like, even if you have like a first edition, like, it's really not worth much?
It's worth maybe $13.
Yeah, if you got like a first run.
Yeah.
Really?
Because DC printed like 10 billion of them.
Yeah. and everybody bought them. That's why DC kept printing them, because everyone thought they were gonna get rich off of it. And it's like, no, if there's 10 billion of these in circulation, then there's no scarcity, no rarity, no money. But that is,
and of course, us as Americans love to collect rare shit.
Oh yeah. But that was something interesting about even comic books in the 90s, right? It's like they needed to take a dark turn. You look at the ones that were the most popular in the the late 80s and 90s. We're talking Watchmen. We're talking Dark Knight Returns. We're talking, these were like the darker books, like your Batman Year Ones, your Killing Jokes, and this is when Batman really fucking skyrocketed.
Oh yeah,
yeah, I can imagine, and I'm sure the '89 movie didn't hurt that at all.
Didn't hurt at all. And matter of fact, little known fact, Killing Joke came about as a response to '89. Like, they made Killing Joke because they found out that, okay, they're doing something that has quasi Joker origin stories. DC didn't have a Joker origin story of any kind. They didn't want to commit, and so they commissioned Alan Moore to do a Batman story. And they said, "Well, I want to do a Joker story," and they ended up doing that Joker story. It was non-canon at the time, but they were like, "Okay, well, this will work. This will give people something. It's a DC Joker origin story, and there's this movie coming out that features the Joker with his origin, so it's kind of that symmetry there."
And it's very short too.
Very short read. Yeah.
Yeah. When they were gonna make a movie out of it, I was like, "How are y'all gonna Hobbit this shit?"
A little bit.
I've gotten manuals of my video games that are longer than this.
Oh yeah. Oh, for sure. Yeah. Killing Joke was a very brief read.
The Cheesecake Factory menu is longer than this.
Matter of fact, you guys can get the absolute edition of Killing Joke for like $40. That's about it. Maybe cheaper. I think I got mine for like 30 or 40. But anywho, yeah, everything got darker in the 90s. Oh yeah, this is when Wolverine took off. The fucking Punisher took off.
Oh yeah.
These were like the most popular comic book characters now. Superman, he was only thriving because he died, and came back, and they were trying to figure out what to do with him. And Captain America was in fucking limbo at this point. And so even with comic books, they had to figure out what to do. Things just got dark in an interesting kind of way. But going back to The Crow here, Caleb, I can't dispute what you said about this movie's popularity being directly linked to Brandon Lee's death. It's like, probably, like, I wasn't really, obviously I was alive, but I wasn't really cognizant of this movie or of its influence at the time when it came out.
Well, when the Rust thing happened, there was a big kind of resurgence of this movie. Because a lot of people were like, well, the last time this happened was when Brandon Lee died. And a lot of that too, the younger generation that didn't know about it was like, who's Brandon Lee? What happened to him? And then you go down the rabbit hole and then you want to go watch the movie, so... and I'm not attributing all of its popularity to it. Obviously, like we just described, this kind of story, these kinds of, kind of more gritty, dark stories were taking over the mainstream at this time. People wanted darker stuff. They wanted more grounded heroes or even anti-heroes. You brought up the Punisher.
Because we all have those feelings of like we want to, get back at someone for something at some point. This just, this is obviously elevated and pushed to the forefront. Like, most of us won't act on that, but, like, this is, like, living vicariously, getting that revenge on someone who did you wrong.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And everybody loves a good revenge tale, right? It's kind of Monte Cristo, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
This is like the undead version of that.
Yeah.
They just thought he died. This dude actually died.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But nobody named a sandwich after him. No?
God
no?
damn
Nobody?
No.
Wait, nobody named a sandwich. Oh, when somebody says you're going to eat crow, I get it. I see.
I need a button this. Oh.
Boo this man.
You suck!
Your boos mean nothing. I've seen what makes you cheer.
Go to bed.
My bed is a long way from here.
That's true.
That's true. And you're my ride, so you got to take me with you.
That'd be an awkward trip home. Yeah. I look at this movie, right, and I can still appreciate this movie 30 years later. But Caleb, you already kind of given us a little bit of your thoughts here. Let's go ahead and rip the bandage off, man. Like, what are some of your more full, unadulterated thoughts about this movie?
Granted, I'm watching this movie for the first time in 2024. I tried to keep that in mind as we were watching it, right? I mean, obviously, like, some of the visual effects, like, Oz was kind of prepping me on the way over. He's like, all right, man, did you remember this movie came out in 1994? And I'm like, okay, and I actually thought that a lot of the effects and stuff were going to be a lot worse than they were.
See, that was the prep work I did.
There was only that one shot that I thought looked awful, which is like where he's like jumping off the roof or whatever, and it looked like a fucking CG scene from Final Fantasy VII, where like it was just kind of.
What was that era between like full CG and stop motion? There was like a brief
claymation.
Yeah.
It kind of looked like claymation.
Yeah, a little bit like
Yeah, it did kind of look like claymation because
like stop motion claymation type. Yeah.
The frame rate on it is very low.
And it's very clear you can see it, and it's just like, ugh.
Yeah, it's kind of like some of the worst the really bad CGI from like the first time they did the special editions from Star Wars, and that would have been around that same era. You know?
Where you can clearly see where the green screen would have been.
It's kind of like that, but I never let it distract me from the movie. I will say I did not love this. I probably wouldn't necessarily watch it again. I did enjoy it overall a lot more than the new one because I never once like checked my phone like, oh my God, when is this going to be over? I was interested in Eric Draven as a character. Some of the scenes were, hokey. Some of the dialogue was also hokey. There was some George Lucas dialogue in there. But I mean, it's better than Madam Web,
Oh, I feel like even saying that is an insult.
Yeah, I mean, looking at it overall, what I really like about this movie is you can feel the pain of Eric Draven. The way that Brandon Lee kind of brought the character to life, not even through the dialogue. I thought some of his dialogue wasn't great. But the way that he carries himself, the way that he, the physical acting of it all, the body language, his kind of slow transformation into this crow entity, right? And you kind of see that throughout the movie. I thought that was way better presented than in the new one, where like the guy just dies and then now he can't get hurt. And he was broody the whole time, so you really can't tell the difference.
Right. And there is there is definitely that clear that Eric Draven wasn't broody. Not really. Like, he was a musician broody, not I'm just a sad bitch broody all the time.
Right. Yeah. I thought that the action was okay. I actually And I will openly admit that this is my own expectation, right? I kind of thought that because it's Brandon Lee, there would be more fighting in the movie. Like, I kind of expected some kind of more in-depth, like, martial arts, fight choreography type stuff. It didn't bother me. Like if I watched this movie not knowing who the fuck Brandon Lee was, I would have never had that expectation. So I don't want to hold that against it. This movie, you hit the nail on the head early on. You were like, oh, this movie actually has characters in it. I agree. Like, there was like so many notable characters in this movie where it's like, in the new one, it's him, the Shelley, and the villain. And I can't even he's just the villain. Yeah. I can't tell you his name off the top of my head anymore. Like, and that's it. Everything else in that movie is just.
That's fair. Like, trying to think back on it. Like, I can't Yeah, that
bunch of nameless henchmen.
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? Even the henchmen, like in the original, in the '94 version, they're very hokey, they're very cartoonish, they're very much from the pages in the comics, but at least they were entertaining. At least they were fun to watch.
right, like because you and I were talking about this because there's one character in specific that it was one of the 4 main henchmen that he's after that killed him and his girlfriend, and we could not remember his fucking name.
Yeah.
And we're like, don't they say it at any point? They say Tintin, they say Fun Boy, and they
Right.
say T-Bird so often, but this fucker's name happens right before he dies.
Right.
Yeah, we kind of talked about this during the movie too. Like, it's almost like Tim Burton and Joel Schumacher sat down and they were like, "All right, you write a paragraph and I'll write a paragraph," and they just went back and forth.
And when you said that, like, that shit was so... I couldn't deny it because before you said it, I was thinking that exact same thought.
Yeah,
And I was like, I'm not going to say anything. And then Kel was like, this is like if...
yeah, it's just not really on the nose, because it's got those like dark, windy shots through the city where it's very Tim Burton and the music's playing, and then that fucking scene where they're like, "Oh, don't move or we'll shoot," and then he fucking does the little jig and they shoot up, which was hilarious.
Oh yeah, that was like he's jumping off stage.
Yeah, that was Schumacher's fucking paragraph for sure. But yeah, I mean, this movie is very much like right in between the two of them. And it's crazy because both of them were making dark superhero movies in the 90s.
Right. Who made Dark Man?
I don't know.
Oh shit, I forgot about Dark Man.
Yeah, right. That's the throwback. Right?
Oh my god.
Yeah, like that shit just...
That's up there with Phantom, dog. Like
I actually, it's weird that I don't remember much of Dark Man, but I remember that,
Arnold Vosloo is Dark Man.
Sam Raimi, okay.
I remember when I used to go to movie gallery, that shit always was gone, and it used to piss me off because I wanted to see
Dog, it's probably me.
it. Probably was him. Probably was you, man.
Because we all went to the same fucking video store before movie gallery
We
came
only
in.
had the one.
Yeah. It was
I always had Mortal Kombat rented out, so I can't say nothing.
Yeah, that was you. I'll never forget. It was, I guess it must have been in maybe 5th grade or so, but there was I think it was on TBS. It was a Mortal Kombat marathon. They replayed the movie all day, and I watched that movie on repeat all day.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
They used to do stuff like that back
all
then.
the time.
They would play the same movie all day.
Right.
or like buy the same actor, like having
Yeah.
all that starred the same actor. Yeah.
I mean, yeah, I remember the movie gallery that we had there. They had one copy of Never Ending Story. And I think I rented that shit so many times that they actually got a second copy.
They're like, man, people really love.
Never Ending Story.
Because it was in like the you can get it for like 5 days section
Yeah.
or whatever, you know?
Man.
And then I would just check that bitch right back out.
Oh man.
Oh man, movie
Then
stores, man.
Then I worked in
a
one. That was my second job.
Man, that was a hype that can't be replicated today.
It really can. Like, I know Video Warehouse kind of came out like after the major movie store craze, and it was like on the tail end of it, but it still was successful for a while. Yeah. And so I worked at that one, and that's where all my movie knowledge came from for a long time.
And your thieving skills.
You see,
We're not talking about this on air, dog.
My bad.
No, you.
I think the statute of limitations has run out. But, I'm not a lawyer, though.
Especially since everything is streamed now.
However, I do want to touch on that a little bit. Is like we say that the nostalgia hype of like a video store or whatever was like it was like an awesome time in humanity or whatever, but like it really wasn't, dog. Like, you go to more often than not, this is what happened. Mm-hmm. Oh man, new video game came out. I'm about to go to the movie store and rent it. They don't fucking have that shit. They either ain't got it yet or they do and it's rented out.
That's fair.
Yeah. While that is true, it was one of those things where it's like, can you put it like this? All right. We about to get real freaky up in here.
Oh.
So we grew up right on the cusp of, man, I got my hands on a porn magazine. This is great. And then a couple days later, oh, we got a computer. Huh. And,
Porn.
Yeah. And then it's like, I had to take a fucking Lord of the Rings journey just to secure these magazines. Now you're telling me that
They're at my fingertips.
it's just there?
I mean, well, on dial-up, it wasn't just there.
well-
But back then it was just
but
there.
You could click and go like make a sandwich, and then come back and it would be there.
Yeah.
And you were gonna need that sandwich in a minute anyway to replenish.
I mean, it's like you're right, Kelly. It would suck whenever the game or the movie you wanted was always fucking gone. Mm-hmm. But the excitement you felt when it was there.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Well, one thing I think that we got back then too that we missed out on today is like today I feel like everything comes with a preconception. Like even if like let's just say that I was really fucking hyped for the Borderlands movie, right? I wouldn't be now. Like I haven't seen it, but like it just we get the opinions of the critics and the masses very early on, and yeah, I mean we can all say that they don't influence us, whatever, but they do alter your expectations, no matter what, right? And it felt like back then you could just go through and browse and see the cover of a game and go, oh, this looks interesting. I really want to play this. And, like, you never heard of it before. Mm-hmm. And then you take it home and play it. I can't tell you how many great games that I found that way.
Oh, yeah.
Now, on the other side of that,
there's some bad games that have done that too as well.
Yeah, and I also wouldn't want to do that shit with today's selection of video games because the ratio of trash to good is way the fuck off.
Oh, yeah.
I'd be like, oh man, day one, this new game came out, Cyberpunk. What is this? I think I saw this in a magazine once. Yeah, I want to rent this.
Yeah, yeah, that'd be a fucking mistake. Oh man, there's an Avengers video game. I want to try this.
By the way, you should get Cyberpunk now. It's actually good.
Okay,
we've had this discussion with him before.
You know, it's not gonna happen.
It's CD Projekt Red.
You know, it's not gonna happen.
I mean. Yeah, that's
I'm
true.
very selective. You know that.
Well, go ahead and slot it in for your 2025 video game.
Maybe.
God damn.
Yeah, I think you would like it.
I think you
Keanu
would
Reeves, you know?
I mean, that's fair. I do love me some Keanu Reeves.
He plays kind of a right in the middle of Bill and Ted meets Neo.
He's like a nihilistic fucking... that's it. He's very nihilistic. Johnny Silverhand. Anywho. You know who doesn't have a silver hand is the Crow.
Right, Eric Draven. But he does have a lot of electrical tape wrapped around him.
He does, for whatever reason.
The look is definitely vastly superior in the 94.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And, like, it's definitely that iconic feel. You just, like, the long trench coat, the floppy boots, the like I said, the electrical tape around the fingers and hands.
And there's the sort of playfulness to Brandon Lee's performance. Mm-hmm. You know,
like I still think one of my favorite moments with him is like right when he gets to Gideon and like he's like and beating him up a little bit and then he jumps
shit on him. Yeah.
We'll get to that. But it was when he hops upside down and just kind of dangles there. It just kind of swings back and forth. Like that's that creepy playfulness and like it's kind of off-putting, but it's also dope as shit.
Yeah.
It definitely adds a little bit of flavor to a otherwise very tragic character.
Mm-hmm. And I think that's what the whole drama mask was for anyway. Like the face paint was that like it's kind of like the Comedian. How it's like it's all a fucking joke.
All a fucking joke.
Yeah, exactly. So it's like laugh instead of laughing to keep from crying kind of feel.
Yeah, I can get with that. I can get jiggy with that.
I can't get jiggy with this shit.
First Dark Man. Oh God, man, you're just throwing them all back, ain't you?
I will say that like I said, it adds like the kind of playful stuff he does. Kind of adds a layer to the character. Also, all the villains, even though some of them got very little screen time. They added these little things in here and there. Except for the stuff with Gideon where he was like kept begging to be shit on. That was weird.
Shit on me.
Was shit on me a phrase in the early 90s that you could just use? It seems
like he
I don't
said
feel
it.
like I ever heard that.
There's a reason why that didn't take off.
Well, no, dog. Like,
probably just someone said it and then the person shat on them. And
yeah,
like,
well, that's not what I
they're like,
fucking
you
meant.
said.
It would be like, if I'm driving, I'm late for work, I'm driving, then I get a flat tire. Oh, well, kick me in the balls. It's like
Someone just walks up, wham!
Brought to you by Dick Nips.
Yeah, he said it so many times.
He did. It was so I actually watched this not too long ago. I want to say earlier last year, and it didn't dawn on me that he's over here saying shit on me. And then when we sit down and watch, I was like, that motherfucker's saying shit on me.
A lot. Not like I'm scared and I'm gonna say it this one time because I just can't compose myself. He kept repeating that shit.
Shit on me.
It was like Hodor, but
pretty much. Like maybe the first one had a twinge of fear in it, but by the time he said it for like the fourth time, it was commanding.
Yeah,
it's like,
and then he
get over here, shit on me.
He said it again later on in the movie.
Yeah, yeah. He says it the top dollar, like the main villain.
Which, and again, another character they don't ever say his fucking name.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, don't get me wrong, the character is super interesting, and he demands the scream when he's on there, but you never know his fucking name.
Right.
Honestly, any of the three main henchmen, like the top dollar, his sister.
I mean, I never got the idea that was his sister.
Well, he says it to Gideon, and he says, "Don't you see this family resemblance?" And then he stabs him through the throat.
I always took that as just
sarcasm, but I mean, whatever. They're obviously lovers, but it could be some, Lannister shit going on. But then you also got Candyman.
You got Candyman there. I don't know what his name in the movie is either.
Exactly, but we know him as Candyman, or the Coroner for Final Destination.
Right.
So either way,
Tony Todd.
I like how the Targaryens fucked their relatives for centuries, but if someone wants to make an incest reference, it's always it's some Lannister shit.
Because usually it's a brother and sister type thing, and those are the ones that are mostly brother and sister. That's cousin and uncle and shit.
Helena and Aegon are brother and sister.
I know, but but that's not prevalent in the show.
Okay. Alrighty.
But Jaime and Cersei Lannister, they pushed a little kid out the window for that shit. I mean, come on.
They cut a baby's throat in his. They cut his head off in his crib. All right. Well, okay. All right.
Speaking of being pushed out the windows, Eric Draven.
Nice segue.
Speaking of people who get pushed out of windows,
I still think that's one of the most iconic scenes in this movie to me, though, is when he's first he gets back to his loft. It's in disarray, still left basically the way he, minus some of the furniture. And he's reliving the whole attack, and then he relives the thrown out the window part, and he jumps and grabs a hold of it and slings himself up and then swings back in, and that's where he realizes he can heal because the glass cut his hands, and I was like, that shit's cool as fuck.
Yeah, I always enjoyed that too. Who was your favorite henchman?
I'm gonna say Tintin.
Yeah, same.
It's hard to beat Tintin.
Also, I love his character in The Shield. So
yeah,
I liked him in Hackers. So
that kind of added into it. His character in The Shield isn't that far off from Tintin. He just doesn't throw knives, and he's more of a bitch.
But yeah, that's why I was saying this kind of early on. Is I hate that they made Tintin the first kill. I kind of feel like Tintin should have been right before last.
Was the mini boss?
Yeah, like a mini boss.
Yeah,
because
he's the only one who puts up a fight.
Right? The rest of them don't.
Yeah, Skank just straight up tries to lie, and he kind of
Skank's dead. He's over there.
Yeah, Skank. He straight up Dark Knight jokers himself. Poor choice of words,
Well, it's kind of like was it Arkham City or was it Arkham Knight where you have the Deathstroke fight really early on?
Oh, that's Origins. Yeah.
Origins, yeah. It's kind of like that. Like, I don't feel like any fight in the game ever lived up to the Deathstroke fight at the beginning. And so it's kind of like you put the most interesting boss like early on.
It's like Baldur's Gate 3. Ketherick Thorm was so much cooler than any of the other two fights.
Everyone agrees. He should have. They should. If there was any way you could restructure this, that he's the last one you fight.
Yeah, like.
Yeah, the Act 2 guy, it really should have been, what's his face?
Gortash?
Gortash.
Yeah.
That motherfucker looks like he just walked out of Final Fantasy.
He does.
Like, he doesn't even look like he belongs in that video game. He literally looks like they just were like, hey, Square Enix, can you guys just send us over whatever you have real quick?
Fine.
We'll take this model with these clothes, throw that on there, call it a day.
Yeah. He just doesn't look like any other fucking character.
That is app description.
But also, his fucking robe just makes him look like a dick.
He's such a...
And he wears this in front of people.
Well, see, the game knows how big of a douchebag he is because they surrounded with those steel watchers, and you're like, I want to kill him, but these motherfuckers will light me up.
I've tried that fight without killing the steel watch. I've tried that fight. It sucks.
I bet it does.
I haven't. Fuck that.
At the time, it was my first playthrough, and I did not know you could do that. So
in the new patch, if you save the gnomes or whatever, they actually send a rebuilt steel watcher to the end fight.
Oh, nice.
Ooh, that's dope.
Yeah, it's badass.
So we get 10-10, and then the next one he kills is Fun Boy.
Fun Boy.
Yeah. He just kind of...
Definitely my least favorite.
So what he does with all of these kills, he just gives them all a piece of their own, a taste of their own medicine.
Yeah, he does.
And in Fun Boy's case, literally. Mm-hmm. So all the crew, and it also gives you a glimpse as to what they did to Eric and Shelley. Mm-hmm. I mean, thankfully he doesn't rape any of them. But,
yeah, that'd be a little...
Yeah. But in terms of like the other physical violence, he definitely repeats all that back on them. So 10-10 loves his knives and stabbed Draven in the back. Well, Eric repays the favor. Fun Boy, I believe,
hold on, stuck knife in each one of his major organs in alphabetical order.
I'm like, how does he know that?
How does he know that? Did you also find the dialogue choice like it was comical coming out of T-Bird, but it was like one of my crew got himself perished, and I'm like, what? I mean, I guess technically it's factual, but just the way he says it, it's comical to me.
I think that T-Bird to me was kind of all over the place. Mm-hmm. Like,
because he had a car and he could get from A to B.
No, I just mean the character itself was really odd. It's like kind of they were trying to go for this kind of like trucker vibe, maybe. I don't know. I mean,
with a stylish little pony nub.
Yeah, I mean, I just
Killing
don't. I just didn't. I thought the character was all over the place. He kind of seemed like somebody's like not very well thought out D&D character, you know.
I mean, because it's supposed to be he's like the leader of the tiny crew.
Yeah,
and I will give it to Caleb. Like there were times where I just don't really feel like he's the leader of anything.
Yeah, it's like there. So I will say this: he's definitely the most hinged of the four.
Hinged?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fair.
My question about T-Bird has always been, I don't think that it is, but like, shouldn't his car have been a Thunderbird? Wouldn't that have made sense? You know?
That would have made sense. Yeah. But I think it would have been too much on the nose.
It also was probably out of the budget.
That too.
We talked a little bit about this earlier, about kind of how they tried to give us more of the relationship and the love story in the new one. To varying degrees of success, right? Something that I did notice about this movie, and this is a staple of when it came out, is this movie is incredibly male-focused, right? Like, other than the girl, Sarah, is that the little girl?
Yeah.
Every female character in this movie is basically a murder or sex object.
Yeah.
Go on, I'll wait.
That's fair. Oh, God.
And so I could see why they wanted to change that in the 2024 version.
And like, I wouldn't have hated that, like, if they would have done it correctly.
Yeah, I mean, good idea, bad execution.
Yeah.
I think that's the best way to sum up the new Crow movie is good idea, poor execution.
Oh, I disagree because I think making it was a bad idea.
Well, okay, fair enough.
Because to a large portion of your, like, we say this a lot. Who is this for, right? Clearly, if you're trying to tap into the fan base of the original Crow movie, to a significant portion of them, the movie should never be remade. That role should never be recast. Even if he hadn't died filming it, there'd still be a lot of people that are like, don't remake this.
Well, I mean, ultimately, it could be like, and we've talked about this before. Like, the Crow is not just Eric Draven.
Yeah,
it's just
done
he's the
another
first. Yeah, he should have been a different person, but then they had to name him fucking Eric.
Right.
Yeah,
and her Shelley.
Yeah, I mean, it was very clear they were trying to do a complete retelling, and that was not the way to go. So, like, right off the rip, I think there's a huge portion of your audience that just has no interest, doesn't think it should exist. It's an abomination. And I mean, when I saw the trailers, I felt the same damn way. Yeah. And I never even seen the original.
Yeah, it's just even the trailer just felt soulless, you know?
Yeah.
I think one of the biggest problems that I've had with the 2024 Crow as to opposed to the 94 version is whether they do it on purpose or not, I don't know, but in the remake, they try to bargain with both the character, Eric, and with the audience. They try to bargain. Well, you can give up this, and we'll give you that back. You know, you can give up your soul, and you'll get Shelley back. In the original, there is no bargain. There's no bargain.
It's revenge.
Yeah, you can't. There's nothing you can do that will bring back the love of your life. Nothing you can do that will make that right completely. This Crow isn't an arbiter of good and righteousness. It's an arbiter of vengeance.
Straight up vengeance power. Yeah.
Well, and I also don't know that this movie ever explicitly says that either. You know, they have the little voiceover or whatever about it, but you know, there really isn't, to me, like in the new one, they very much hit you over the head with, you're gonna come back, settle the score, and then that's it. You're done. Whereas with this one, it's just kind of like he gets brought back, and he really doesn't know why he's been brought back. From what I could tell, you know, he's obviously got that vengeance in him, but there's none of that like, oh, you know, you do these things and you'll return to the grave, such and such. You know, that to me was never really spelled out in this one the way it was in the new one, and I think it's the older one is a better movie for it. Because you don't need 20 minutes of weird purgatory train station exposition.
That was so strange.
It was all a bizarre choice. Yeah.
I was over here like as soon as I saw that shit, I was like, Like, I didn't even want to look at the screen. I was just like, no.
And for me, it was the fact, like, the ending of The Crow is always tragically poetic. Because he succeeds in his mission, but, you know, in the end, you know, you have to go back to the grave, and whatever the afterlife holds for you, that's what it has for you. Mm-hmm. You know, there is no, I mean, we don't know if there's a happily ever after for Shelley and Eric.
I mean, it's kind of implied when she shows up, but that's like it's left up to the interpretation,
right? But it just the 2024 just took all whatever wind was in the sail by the end of the movie, just took it all away when
they brought her back.
The bargain works. She's back, and I don't feel that same sense of wow watching that.
No, because in the new one, it's like they set up the scenario, and then it very quickly goes to shit, and then there's a new agreement almost immediately, and it's just, you kind of get whiplash from it. It's just, it's very odd, and then everything plays out exactly like you would guess. Mm-hmm. There's no twist, no surprise, nothing. You know, it's just kind of like, from the moment it gets exposited, you're just watching it play out from there.
Mm-hmm. I have to wonder also about the 2024 version and its anticlimactic boss fight. It was just
It really was. Like, so, I can't remember the actor's name who plays Top Dollar, but, like, he also, I pointed this out to you guys, he also played a villain in the Three Musketeers 90s movie.
Right.
And so they already hinted at him, being decent with a blade.
Michael Wincott. Yeah.
Yeah, Michael Wincott. Like, he's just a good villain. I love he's got a villain voice. He's got that smug look. Like, he's always he kind of like got that tight cast feel. Like, everything he's in, he's a villain.
Three Musketeers was 93. It came out the year before The Crow.
Yeah.
And then Robin Hood was 91.
Like Prince of Thieves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
He was in that too. Yeah.
Was he?
Yeah.
Yeah.
God damn. All right. Well, I mean, he had a hell of a couple years.
Oh yeah.
But like this whole fight scene at the end, like with him and Eric, like. So I meant to touch on this when you were talking about it earlier. How like there was like because it's Brandon Lee, you thought maybe there should be more martial arts a little bit.
Yeah, it's like if you cast Jackie Chan as the lead role in a movie,
Was
I expect
Brandon
him to fight people.
Was he ever a martial artist though?
No, I don't think he is. I think it's just because of his father.
Yeah.
But I think they did it smart because Eric Draven doesn't know martial arts.
Oh yeah, I know.
He's a fucking musician.
Yeah, I mean, well, in the '90s, when you get any kind of ability,
That's
you
true. Like
automatically
Buffy the
know martial
Vampire
arts.
Slayer, when you become a vampire, you definitely know how to fucking do kung fu.
Yeah. Like when you become a Power Ranger.
Oh,
you
yeah.
know,
Oh yeah, all that.
That's all very true. Yeah. that is true. There are so many plot holes in Power Rangers that they never bothered to explain to us.
Well, because it's two different shows stitched
I'm
together.
aware. But then
Sometimes
tried.
three
It was
different
to sell
shows.
toys, bruh.
And they did.
And they sold a fuck ton.
I bought a lot of those toys.
Same.
Yeah.
I had more Ninja Turtles though.
There were a lot of Ninja Turtles too.
Yeah.
Yeah. God damn.
But what I was getting at is like that fight scene at the end. Like it actually made a lot of sense to me. The way he's over here beating his ass with a fucking sword, and then Eric grabs a weather vane. Was that what that was?
No, it looked like.
Was it the cross on the church?
Yeah.
Okay, and like he snatches it out of the pedestal that it's in, and it's unwieldy as fuck. You can definitely tell it's overweight. It's not.
It's not balanced.
It's not balanced.
Yeah.
And
but it's doing the job. Fuck it.
I mean, it's keeping him from getting sliced.
Yeah.
I'm actually gonna disagree with that. I think it was a weather vane.
Oh yeah.
Was it?
I don't think it was a cross.
It looked like an actual. I don't know if it was a cross, but it looked like an actual part of the church that was some kind of decoration or something.
It was the '90s, man. It could have been a TV antenna.
It could have been. It could have been.
Because like lightning struck it or whatever, right? Right before he picked it up or something.
Maybe.
I think it did. I think either that or like lightning flashed.
Yeah.
It storms a lot in this place.
Oh yeah, because it can't rain all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, this place might be right next door to Gotham. I don't know.
Yeah. Clearly, yeah.
But yeah, like we definitely got a decent, big bad guy fight at the end.
Yeah.
Like,
And he had a gruesome death.
Oh, he did.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the death. I will say that the best action scene is in the new one. Is the Opera House.
Yeah. But that's like me saying the best action scene in Mortal Kombat's in the new one.
I think I still disagree with that.
How?
Because
What is better than the Scorpion and Sub-Zero?
Oh, okay, yeah, you're right. You're right. Okay. But the thing about it is, like, the original Mortal Kombat had some tremendous scenes as well.
Oh yeah.
So, I'm gonna rabbit hole this again. I'm so sorry, but
Oh no.
you know how like we never do episodes where we talk about like this person could beat this person.
Oh.
You know,
boy, okay.
we tend to avoid those. But I gotta talk about this for just a second. I saw one the other day, and it was like, who would win out of Goro and the Hulk? And I was like, if y'all don't shut the fuck up.
How many Goros are there?
I was like, that motherfucker is going to go from 4 arms to no arms so fast.
Just rip, done.
like he has like, what would you say? Like maybe time and a half a person's strength? Like,
I would say that he's probably. we'll say he's 6 times stronger than the man. I feel like that's accurate.
Yeah. Like at best, you know what I mean? Like, no, dog. Like a nice, calm, collected Hulk can beat the shit out of you. A smart Hulk can beat the shit out of you.
Hulk can beat your ass
with like one arm, like with his arm.
Taking a selfie with
with his burnt Infinity Gauntlet arm, he's taking a selfie with some people, and he's beating the dog shit out of Goro off camera with the other arm. I'm like, really? This is like who went out of like fucking Bill Nye and Black Widow, like.
God damn. I don't engage in those either. But one that I saw that was just hilarious, mostly because the responses was someone said, "Who do you think will win, Dick Grayson from Teen Titans or Kim Possible?"
Oh my god!
And I wish I remember like the exact responses, but they were like, if you don't put some fucking respect on Dick Grayson's name.
Right? Speaking of, when are we going to get that Hulk Crow versus Candyman movie?
Oh, no. We told you.
I know, yeah.
So fucked up. Because Tony Todd is in this movie as one of the top henchmen to Top.
And I think he just gets shot.
Yeah. He gets shot by Ernie Hudson.
Yeah.
From the Ghostbusters.
Ernie Hudson was dope in this.
Oh, yeah.
He really was. Definitely giving some Carl Winslow vibes, though. Handful of times.
Yeah, I agree. He was like right in the middle between Carl Winslow and like his Ghostbusters character.
Yeah. It was.
He was. He was really good in this, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed his character. The one thing I didn't like was that he never really gets his superior never gets his comeuppance, like.
Right, yeah. I would have definitely loved to see,
Well, off screen, Vic Mackey burned his face off. I don't know what it is about that guy's face, but I was just like, he just looks like someone needs to burn his face off.
Incredibly burnable.
Oh, it's very on a stovetop. Yeah, he has a very sizzly face.
Sizzly face.
Oh man, no, he was good. I really enjoyed his overall performance here for this movie. He was just having fun with it,
Oh yeah, definitely. Like you could definitely tell it was probably not like a project that he would expect to work on, but I think he was like, you know what, I'm just gonna enjoy this.
Yeah, just chew the fat on the scenes and just have fun.
Yeah.
And sometimes that ends up being some people's best work when they do stuff like that,
I mean, Ernie Hudson to me was the best performance in the movie.
I think so. Like looking at the cast, like besides Top Dollar, I think Ernie might have like the most extensive filmography.
Yeah.
But I mean, so that does track. And we just said his name, the guy who plays Top Dollar. Wincott. Yeah. Man, what you guys think of him as a Top Dollar?
Like, I think he nailed it to a point where, like, and again, we didn't know his fucking name, but we understood who he was.
Yeah.
And that in itself is I don't think he did a great job.
I mean, obviously he's not like around to answer this for us, but you got to think that that character had some influence on Heath Ledger's Joker, right? Because he kind of embodies literally wants to watch the world burn.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's like literally his goal here. You don't sense that this character has any motivation really other than just fucking chaos.
Yeah.
Just sitting in front of a mountain of Coke.
Yeah, I mean,
and next time we see him, that plate was like empty.
Yeah.
So him and his chick are fucked up. They blitz out of their mind.
He's literally just doing whatever feels good at the time, right? All the time.
And that level of... But see, here's the thing. Like, how do you become Top Dollar if you're just that chaos?
Well, that's the thing, right? I really wish there was some way we could have learned more about who he is and how. Like, what are you, Top Dog?
Well, see, we also got to think about what the era this came out of. Like,
Yeah.
we were just coming out of the cookie cutter, let's eat your vitamins role. So, it's just this guy is a villain. So we're going to give you just that. Today's day and age, that shit ain't gonna fly.
Yeah.
Like, we need backstory for our villain. Like Kingpin. Mm-hmm. Fucking Vincent Fisk is fucking... I just recently rewatched back through season 1 of Daredevil.
So fucking good.
Oh, God. Fucking Vincent D'Onofrio. Fucking God.
And when you get to season 2, you notice that the Punisher is in it. And it's funny you mentioned that because the Punisher was supposed to be at Chicago WizardCon back in 2016. I have a plaque on my...
Oh, are you sure?
Yeah, actually,
I don't think he was supposed to be there.
I have a plaque. I have a plaque on my wall that has his face on, along with Charlie Cox and
you do.
Young. Yeah,
you'll have to show that to me later.
I'll show it to you. They signed it, but he didn't sign it because he wasn't there. I'm not mad about it. I'm just making it known.
Just making it known.
You should have just got Vincent D'Onofrio to sign it over top of him. You just hand him the thing. He's like, I'm not on this.
That was pretty fucking good, dog.
I didn't think it was going to be that good, but then I heard it through the mic, and I was like,
God damn.
Vanessa.
You've got a decent Kingpin, dog.
All right, well, Marvel, call me. I'm cheaper than D'Onofrio. And I don't have to wear that much of a suit.
Gosh. I mean, they're like, all right, you got to get beat up by Charlie Cox for like 18 episodes.
Hey, whatever. If the money's coming in, dog.
No king shame.
So no king shame, so I can just go around yelling shit on me. And
yeah, exactly.
So, in the prequel movie for Top Dollar, which is called 99 Cents, in his backstory, we see him as a low-level gang member, ambitious gang member in another gang, right?
Okay.
Matter of fact, because T-Bird was obviously older than Top Dollar. They looked older.
Yeah.
He was in T-Bird's gang.
No. Oh. T-Bird can't be the leader of the gang because obviously the leader of the gang has to get killed by Top Dollar.
Oh,
see, yeah. but T-Bird was like a officer, right? Like he was like lieutenant level, and he helped Top Dollar out, so he got to stay. You see? Yep. And,
okay.
And see what happens is like the whole movie is like him trying to fight his way to the top and be the top dollar of this gang, right? And then
the top is a mountain of coke.
But the kind of Greek tragedy in it all is once he like ends up, facing down with the old mob boss or whatever and like becomes the guy, he realizes that there's like no fulfillment for him after that. Like he's been so obsessed for so long with trying to make it to the top of the gang and be the guy. Now that he's there, he doesn't know what to do with himself. So over time, he just becomes more and more bored and just has to do more and more fucked up shit to amuse himself. And so that's how we eventually get to the character in this movie.
You didn't say bear with me here.
No, I didn't because I felt like that was pretty straightforward.
Oh, damn.
You got to get the catchphrase in.
I think that's great, but I would much prefer to get a origin story movie for his girl. I want to know what the fuck was up with her. She took one look at the crow and was like, we need to kill it. And I was like,
and I want to catch it.
I want to catch it and use his powers.
She had some weird like Melisandre vibes.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Like eating a bitch's eyeball and shit.
And it was ironic that she got hers ate out.
I think that was the point.
You get it? Mm-hmm. We've been over this. Suck. We've been over this. Your Bruce mean nothing to me.
Go to bed.
He made the fucking pun, not me.
Oh, okay. You know what? No.
He used a word. You turned it into the pun.
Yeah.
He literally said ate her eye. It was ironic. It wasn't even 5 syllables apart.
Don't put this on me.
It is on you.
That was not on me.
That was you.
No. Okay. What else do we have to say about this movie, guys, before we take this home?
Still, that cult classic that I will cherish forever, even if it doesn't age the most with the graphics and stuff like that. But I will still say it's, near and dear to me.
I want to know how much of the budget they spent on rain. Because this is obviously before they just CGI'd the rain. So, like, it's very clear that it's raining on these motherfuckers for, like, a lot of the production.
And, like, there was a handful of times where Brandon Lee was, like, drenched.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you know, he had to just get off set every day like a fucking raisin. Just like, oh, my God.
That's why they put the
leather on, too?
Well, that's why they put the fucking electrical tape.
Man, that leather had to be awful after.
So there are a few things, and that obviously I still very much hold this movie near and dear to my heart, and I still really love this movie, flaws and all. But I do still have to poke fun at it. And
of course. And
I'm going to do that just really quickly here. So one thing that this and the 2024 have in common was that whatever this story is, it takes place in the biggest empty cities of all time.
Yeah.
There's like nobody who lives in this place. Maybe they all washed up and moved out.
There was one hot dog vendor.
We've seen, I think, a total of 4 cops and 1 detective.
I'll say I give him at least 6.
About 6, okay.
Because there was that one scene when he first the cop friend, can't remember his character's name or his actor name, but when he first meets Eric, right outside of Gideon's, there were 2 more.
Oh yeah, Ernie Hudson. Yeah.
And then there was the 2 cops that crashed into T-Bird later.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
That T-Bird skank.
Oh yeah,
the crashing. Yeah.
I have to hold the
right.
What's it? Microphone guy.
So that's 1, 2, 3, 4. There's actually the lady cop that gets a speaking line.
Which was that supposed to be his ex-wife?
See, that's the thing. I couldn't tell.
Like, the picture doesn't match. I don't think it matches the actress.
It kind of did.
It kind of did, but it like...
But also, their relationship seemed too flirtatious to be getting divorced.
Yeah, I felt like it was either he's getting divorced because he done hooked up with her, or he's getting a divorce so he's trying to hook up with her.
Yeah.
Or both. It could be both.
Yeah.
Both is good.
Both is good.
Yeah, because like when he came waltzing into work the next day, I was like, I think he got it.
he got some.
Yeah, he definitely came in there doing a Vincent Mann walk.
Ain't nobody that fucking happy to go to work in the morning.
Oh yeah, that's it. Full circle is like he shit on that guy.
Oh no!
He shit on Gideon.
No, I tell you what, I know where all the people are, dude. In the city. They're in the fucking club that Top Dollar owns.
Oh,
they're all in the dance floor. That's it.
There is more people in that club than the whole rest of the city.
That's true. Just like Gotham, this for whatever reason, whatever this city is, they only get like 2 hours of sunlight per day.
Yep.
Oh, of course.
Well, Batman can't just be out and about during daylight. So.
Of course.
Also, the police station looked like it was about the size of this room.
Right.
You just put like 2 or 3 file cabinets and a desk, and then
put up some dividers and
I will also say this about the 94 versus the 2000. At least in the 94 version, whoever wrote the character in the script understood his powers.
Yeah.
Like in 2024, like it was like, oh, he can heal.
The 2024 version, I would have given it probably 2 points higher. Had like every time he taking a fatal blow, he just keeps going back. Back to the perk. That should have been hilarious to me.
Right? Yeah, same. It would have had a what was it, Bruce Almighty, where that happens. Yeah. It would have been kind of like that,
Little Nicky's a good example of that. Yeah, right. Every time he dies, he ends up back in hell.
I gotta say though, did they understand his powers in this one? Because like in the comic book, can he like pull heroin out of people and like force people to have visions and shit?
See, that's a good question. I rightly don't remember.
Because
I think he can though.
Because in this, to me, it very much felt like a couple times. Yeah, he can do whatever. Like it kind of felt like Goku reading Krillin's mind on Namek. Like
that shit was wild. And I don't care what you say, Caleb. In Alien Resurrection, the fucking xenomorph cannot spit acid.
No, man, we went over this. So
we're not doing this again.
So what happens? All of those aliens in Resurrection are cloned from the one inside of Ripley, and Ripley picked up some of their qualities, so the aliens picked up some of our qualities. That's why the aliens in Resurrection can spit the acid. Human saliva is very acidic.
I've lost. Yep. Nope.
All I'm saying, we've seen normal xenomorphs, we've seen xenomorph queens, we've seen neomorphs,
Xenomorph dog.
xenomorph dog.
Dogomorph.
Only one xenomorph, one time, spit acid. And that shit never happened again.
That's fair.
I'm still wondering where all those where the toys were inspired from, because I want to see a bull xenomorph.
Did you see a toy of that?
Yeah, dude, I had it.
Was there? Remember back in the day when they would make cartoons off of shit that should not be cartoons, like Rambo, RoboCop? Was there an Aliens cartoon?
That I don't remember, but I do remember buying the toys because I thought they were cool.
That's just bizarre. I don't know where that would have come
Hold on, now I'm gonna have to fucking Google.
That shit was weird, right? They used to do weird shit back in the 90s.
Yeah. You ever watch BoJack Horseman?
Yeah.
Back in the 90s, I was on a very famous TV show. This podcast is going on way too long.
It really has, guys.
Yeah.
So,
if we go on any longer, they're going to release another Crow movie.
Oh my God, stop.
It can't be any worse than the one we just got.
That's true, yeah. So, I got to admit, that movie was a steaming pile of dog shit. This one, I didn't love it, but I at least enjoyed it. The way you were raving about the soundtrack kind of made me feel like that it was going to be dope. I didn't care for it, to be honest.
You didn't care for oh man,
I did not. No.
Well, also, like I like a lot of alternate rock. So
yeah, I didn't like the sound mix. I thought it was tonally good. I just didn't really like the mix, and I didn't really like the track choices. I would have gone with a more Matrix or Queen of the Damned type vibe.
Movies that came out with, after this movie.
Yeah.
A little bit, yeah. Well, one thing I will always have to give this movie props for is the way they handled Brandon Lee's death. Thankfully, they were close to wrapping filming, and even to this day, they did such a good job, I think, with disguising that. Because I watched the scene where it happened and the scenes where the stuntman takes over, and I'll be damned, man, it's hard to tell.
Yeah, I never picked up on it.
Yeah, like I think I saw where it could have happened. It was after the fight scene that he technically dies in. The lights are flashing, like almost strobing, and his hair's in his face. Yeah. So more than likely, that's probably where it's at.
Could be.
Yeah. But
you wonder how many of those shots they would even take like that.
Right. Yeah.
It was, obviously, like the famous scene, right, is it obviously has a gravitas to it now because of the real life implications that it otherwise wouldn't have really had in the movie. It would, because it would have been like, oh, well, we know the bullets aren't going to affect him, blah, 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 he's going to get back up. But because of what happened in real life in the filming of it, that scene is, it's just got a different air to it.
Yeah. And it also makes, like, I know it's, like, the bleed over from real life to, the movie. But, like, Top Dollar going, ooh, that's gotta hurt. Like, just kind of made it, like, like, got a poor choice there. But also, he's playing his character. Yeah, it's
I imagine there's probably some documentaries where this gets explained in depth. But, like, yeah, I want to know, like, how that happened. Like, did he say the line and then people rushed over and was like, oh, fuck, he's really hurt, and then they cut? Or did, like...
They do it after?
Yeah, like, did they, like, he got shot, they cut it, and then they were like, okay, we're going to pick back up right here. And then they had Top Dollar say that line from the script? Like, holy fuck.
I think it's possible that they probably started first with Top Dollar saying that line, and then, like, on a different date, they filmed the action scene.
Probably, because it is two different cuts.
Yeah. But, yeah, because when you see him fall, like, I think that might have been where they're like, cut, holy shit, he's dead.
I don't think we actually see that in the movie.
That's what I'm saying. Like, when he falls off the table, I think is where it happened.
But he's saying that they probably filmed. They probably had multiple cuts of the scene, and they probably used a different cut.
Yeah,
Fair.
I don't think we've seen. Yeah, yeah, that would. That probably wouldn't fly. Even in '94, I don't know.
It's a really long time ago.
Real
Back in
long
94.
time ago.
I can't believe that's like
94.
hasn't happened more.
All right. Well, homies, this was our kind of sort of review of The Crow.
We talked about it a good bit.
We did. We absolutely did. And some of everything else as well.
That's fair.
We hope you guys enjoyed this. As always, I've had a blast rewatching and reviewing this movie with these two hombres here. Man, The Crow. I can't believe this 30 years old, but at the same time, I guess that makes sense.
Yeah.
Did anything notable come out in 95? Oh, Jesus fucking Christ. Batman Forever came out in 95, didn't it? Yeah.
I think so. Yeah.
What else?
Uh,
When did Space Jam come out?
Oh, God.
uh,
92?
Is that really that early?
no, it couldn't have been 92 because they shot it, I think, during the 94-95 season.
Hey, I had a feeling that it's got
Space Jam's 96. Yeah, they shot it.
96, okay.
They shot it during the 94-95 season.
Gotcha.
I'm a big Michael Jordan fan. I don't know if you knew that actually.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah.
Really, you're finding out like right now?
Yeah.
I'm a huge Michael Jordan fan.
That he is. Yeah, he's pulled out that MJ knowledge a few times.
Ooh, shit.
Yeah.
People don't expect that from me because I don't like sports.
I mean, yeah.
And that's a fair assessment. Yeah.
Popular 1995 movies. God, there wasn't a lot. Oh, Judge Dredd. Original Judge Dredd.
Fuck. Okay, yeah.
Johnny Mnemonic came out. Dolph Lundgren and Keanu Reeves.
That does not ring a fucking bell.
Oh, wow.
The Keanu Reeves movie, I don't know.
Wow, that is shocking. Batman Forever. There was like a John Denver movie. Yeah, there was not a lot.
Yeah, 95 was quiet.
Braveheart in 95.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They can remake that one, right?
I'll be honest with you. I'm pretty shocked that they haven't.
Same.
Oh, Apollo 13 came out in 95.
Oh, yeah.
shit. Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that movie slapped, man.
Yeah. So, Mr. Holland's Opus 95.
Oh, I remember watching that in school.
Yeah.
I didn't.
Yeah, I feel like that movie, that was like a weird movie that only could have come out in that era.
Yeah.
You know. But yeah, so there were a few. But yeah, I'm kind of shocked that I've seen Johnny Mnemonic.
Yeah. I mean, like, I'm a huge Keanu Reeves fan. And
Fucking Ice-T is in it. Yeah.
That's definitely Keanu Reeves.
I mean, yeah. Like, yeah.
Yeah.
I think it's like post Point Break, pre-Matrix.
Yeah, that weird phase for him. Yeah. Like, what were you doing those years?
I think Speed was also in that, too.
Yeah. That was like the one standout.
Yeah, the one standout, yeah.
Oh, okay.
I remember nutting up over that, like, realizing that's fucking Ted, man.
This was the poster.
I do remember the poster now. I just don't remember the movie.
That poster does look oddly familiar. That's giving me Cool World vibes.
I remember watching the movie. I don't remember anything about it. I feel like if it was Cool World bad, it would have left a little trauma.
Yeah.
You know.
So maybe that needs to be one of our, retro throwback
Absolutely
movies.
not.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
I'm actually gonna roll the dice on that one and say no.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just morbidly curious.
That sounds like a World War IV starter to me.
Yeah.
Who picked this shit? The truce is off. Alien 3 is my choice.
So speaking of throwback series, we're going to do Big Trouble Little China. We need to do that soon.
Yeah, we do.
I'll get with you off mic. I'll see what you're doing. If you got any free time next week.
Maybe.
Yeah, I understand. It is always difficult and interesting coordinating 4 different people's schedules
Yeah.
to get that to work.
And then we get to do Transformers, and then we get to draw a new order.
Then whole new orders.
Yeah.
So it'd be interesting. But for reals this time, we're gonna wrap this one up, homies. This has been a blast going back and taking a look at The Crow. And yeah, it's always fun looking back at movies like this, man. I had a blast with this one. Thank you guys again for being here.
Of course.
That's going to be all for now, homies. But until next time, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
I am superhero homie Oz.
And I'm superhero homie Caleb.